Hi everybody, it's David here and welcome back to Digital Doxology. And today's tutorial, I'm calling it Spicing Up Your Chords. Last time when I showed you the 6 chords of the C scale, it's the C major chord, the D minor chord, the E minor chord, the F major chord, G major chord, and the A minor chord. And I think I even showed the B diminished chord. And so technically, I guess I showed you 7 chords, but we're going to just stick with those 6 chords today. And I'm going to show you how by adding one note to each of those chords, you can spice it up. And who doesn't like a little spice in your food, right? You can spice up your chords just like you can spice up food and make them sound a little more interesting, give them a little different flavor. And it's fun and easy to do, and I'll show you how to do that. But before we get to that, I want to ask you a question. And I want you to think about this before you answer it to yourself. The question is, can you take the 6 chords that I showed you so far, and can you write, with those 6 chords, can you compose a beautiful song? Think about that. Can you take those 6 chords, or less, and write a beautiful song? Think about that while we're getting ready. Let's get started. Welcome back, everyone. And I hope you're having a good day, and I hope you have a good week. And remember, I put these videos out every Friday, so don't forget to hit the subscribe button and ring that little bell on the corner over there so that you'll be notified when the next videos come out. So I hope you've got your piano in front of you and your keyboard. Let's go. So let's first start by taking a look at those 6 chords that I showed you last time. The C major. Anytime you have a chord with 3 notes and the note at the bottom is the root of the chord, in this case C, E, and G, this is root position. When I shift up, it's no longer in root position because the E is in the bass, so this is called first inversion. And then if I go up again, the second inversion. You can do the same thing with any other chord. D minor, this is root position. D minor in first inversion with an F in the bass. D minor with an A in the bass, that's the second inversion. And then back to D minor again. So it's a good idea to practice and warm up doing the inversions, playing the inversions on your piano. With both hand or one hand. Now, I said a minute ago that we can take and add one note to a chord and spice it up a little bit. Today we're going to talk about the 7th chords. So I'm going to show you how to take any chord and add a note to it to turn it into a 7th chord. Let's start with the easy one, the C chord. Now, let's call C 1. This is 1, 2, 3. This is the 3rd, 4th, 5th. So I have the 1st or the tonic, 3rd, and 5th. Go up to the 6th and the 7th. And then play this note at the same time as the others. And you've now made what's called as a C major 7th chord. It's a very pretty chord. This is a chord, the major 7th chord is probably used in 99% of pop music in the last 100 years. So if I go up to D minor, do the same thing, I've now made a minor 7th chord, but a minor 7th chord is different than a major 7th chord. Let me show you I'll show you, watch my hands. This is a major 7th, and then I'm going to go up to the minor 7th. But I'm going to turn this into a major 7th, that's going to sound really weird. See, that's a major 7th. Let me go down to C. This is an octave right now, and this is a major 7th interval. And I just made a new chord. That's called a C7, or a dominant 7th. And this chord wants to go to the F. C7th. So 7th chords, there's two different kinds of 7th chords. There's major 7ths, and then there's minor 7ths. Not a C major 7 or a C7. In music, we call this a C7 chord. All right, so C7 and a C major 7. Look at the differences between them. All right, there's this one note makes the difference. It's what spices the chord up. So let's go to a D minor and make a 7th. E minor, minor 7th. F major. Oh, there's another 7th. But this is a major 7th, not a minor 7th. And then G. Oh, wait a minute. This sounds a little different, doesn't it? This is not a major 7th, this is a G7, what's called a G7th, because the G7th is the dominant 7th of C. And this is what's called a dominant 7th. Just like a C dominant 7th is the dominant 7th of F. Different than this. All right, so you actually have two kinds of chords here. You have the major 7ths and you have the 7ths. It's a little different. Now when we get to minors, this is actually a minor 7th, not a major 7th. If I had a D major, this is a D minor 7th. This is a D major 7th. Interesting, huh? Just changing a few notes of any chord gives the chord a different flavor, a different sound. And remember, you know, when artists are painting a picture, they're using different colors. And when you start out painting, you might start out with just a few colors. But as you get more experienced and as you start to expand and grow as an artist, you will start to experiment with different colors and mixing your colors to make different colors. Music is the same way. You start with simple colors, simple chords, and then as you get more experienced, you can start to expand and try different things. So by adding one or two notes to a chord, you change the chord. This is the C major. This is the C major 7. Very pretty. You can make melodies using these chords. And that's usually what determines the chord will be the melody. Later on, when you start to write melodies, that will help you determine a chord. And I'll give you an example right now. I'm going to play a song, and I'm going to use a very simple melody, and I'm going to play it. Listen as I play the melody. You say, oh, I know that song, right? That is a song that actually goes back all the way to Mozart. Mozart wrote a theme and variations on that melody. Now I'm going to do that melody with the standard harmony. Watch my hands. Stop. Did you see what I was doing with the chords? I only used 3 chords to play the song. Let me play it again. C, C, F, back to C, F, C, G, C. So in answer to the question that I asked earlier, can you write a song, a beautiful song, using 6 or less chords? And of course the answer is yes, you can. You can use more chords than that, and I'm going to add a few more chords this time. Listen to the difference. Let me play it again a little slower. Watch what I'm doing with the chords. I'm starting at C. That's an E minor 7th. That is an F major 7th. And that would be an E minor 7th. Now that is an A minor 7th and F6 and then an E7th. I have to really think about this, and an A minor. Let me just do it without thinking about it. Here we go. That chord is one I didn't show you. That's an F6th to an E7th to an A minor. E7 is the dominant chord in A minor. And really what I did was kind of like use some jazz chords. There's the E minor 7th, and then D minor 7th. That's an F6, E7, and then resolves on an A minor. And by the way, that's that little surprise that I told you about last time, about adding little surprises at the end. So you can take any chord, whether it's a major chord or a minor chord, and add a 7th to it to give the chord some different flavor. That would be a minor 7th because it's a D minor down here. It's D, F, A, and an added C turns it into a minor 7th. What chord would that be? E. It's an E minor 7th. So you have E, G, B, D. F, major 7th. Not a minor 7th, because it's not a minor chord, it's a major chord. That's a major 7th. Now this is just an F7. And F7th wants to resolve to a B flat. And we haven't showed that yet, but that's another chord. It's a B flat. Next week, I think I'm going to talk about the circle of fifths, because once you start learning chords in the key of C, once you get those down, you are able to play those and then add 7ths to them. Then you're ready to start learning about the circle of fifths. So next week I'll show you how to do a progression using the circle of fifths. It's called a roundhouse progression. So we'll talk about that next week. But what to do this week? Practice your 6 chords that I showed you the week before. Practice playing those. Practice your warm-up scales, your C major scale. Try it with both hands. And just get used to playing it at least with the right hand. The left hand can come a little bit later. The left hand, right now, you can just use your left hand for chords and your right hand for playing the scale. So like hold a chord down here, play a chord, and then play the scale. Try it with a different note, a chord, D minor. Okay, so try playing chords try to play, practice playing the chords, practice playing the scales, and then also don't forget practice making those major 7th chords. I hope you enjoyed this lesson. Please remember to hit subscribe and ring that little bell so you'll be notified when the next tutorial comes out. Keep practicing every day. So this is Dave from Digital Doxology saying have a great week. We'll catch you later. Bye.